Hey now everybody, Jamie here, and I wanted to make a little video here for you today, more of a casual kind of conversational video regarding the big announcements that we made a couple of weeks ago on the main show. The four big announcements, and the first one by far is the most impactful. And I wanted to give you a little more information about what's going to happen based on that whole thing. Obviously, what I'm talking about is that we are going to run our very first Kickstarter fundraiser this year on April 5th. And the reason that we're doing that is simply because we have so many things that we want to do with this show, and we've run out of time. We started doing the YouTube channel at the end of last year. We made about 4 or 5 or 6 videos, something like that. And man, just the comments that people were giving us about those videos just made us feel great. And they were just a blast to produce. I loved producing the videos, but they take a lot of time. Video takes a lot more time than the podcasts do. And, plus, after 5.5 years, I've gotten pretty good at producing podcasts and getting it out there quickly. But the video is a new frontier, and I don't think no matter how good I get, it's gonna really fit into the schedule that we have now. And when we started this show way back 5.5 years ago, we started it as our hobby. We loved gaming. We loved talking about gaming, and Tony and I had some audio engineering background, so we kind of knew how to do it. And we thought, hey, let's give this a shot. We could probably do a pretty good show. So we did it, and we just expected it would be one of the other shows. It was going to be fun to do and whatever. But we had no idea that it would get anywhere as close to popular as it did. As successful with the number of downloads that we're getting. I mean, we're getting a pretty good amount of downloads at this point, and we never expected that. But the main thing we never expected is that we were going to fall in love with it like we did. Fall in love with the production of the show, recording the show, creating new cool content, and falling in love with the community that we're building, the Cabalists out there on our forums and on Facebook, and meeting them at conventions and at our meetups and different things. It's just really it's an important thing to us. It's become part of our lives to a level we never expected it would ever become. Really, I go to work every day in the morning thinking about this show all day long. It's all I can think about. I get home, I work on the show because it's my hobby. It's fun now. It's exciting to do it. And then my wife goes to bed and I go back to working on it some more again. And boy, it's just a passion for me. It's my dream to do this work. And that's why we want to do it. The success I talked about and the fact that we love it so much, there's just so many things that we could do with this show given the time. Our minds are exploding with cool ideas of things we want to do with it if we had the time. And that's where this Kickstarter comes in on April 5th. If it's successful, man, we're going to be doing so many things, so many awesome things, events and different kinds of programming. Let's talk about the podcast. The podcast itself right now, we do 3 of them a month, 2 of the main shows and 1 of the Express. And one of the main things we want to do is we want to start a 4th podcast to make the show weekly. And we're actually starting that before the Kickstarter even launches at the beginning of March, second week of March, actually. We're bringing in a new show called the Lords of the Dungeon, which is going to be our role-playing game show. With a brand new cast. They're going to be my regular role-playing group. We talked in the show a little bit about how, the other guys don't role-play as much as they used to, so it's kind of weird to do the role-playing content. They weren't as excited about it anymore, so we put it on hiatus. This is the perfect way to bring it back, because let me tell you what, Jesco, Aaron, Bender, and his wife Jess are just... They're so excited to do the show, man. They come busting through the door every Sunday, and they're like, "What are we gonna do? Let's get to the podcast and let's do it." They're so excited, and they got their minds are exploding with cool ideas for discussion topics and different kinds of things we can do with the show. They can't wait to do it, and that enthusiasm just fuels me, man. Like the enthusiasm that those guys have, I guarantee you, the show's going to be a lot of fun. And they're getting their bearings trying to become podcasters because they never did that before, and let me tell you, they're getting there, man. We did 4 episodes already, threw away 2 of them because they weren't so great. But the 2 that we hit on, man, awesome. We're hitting the stride now of being able to do it well. And I'm excited about that. So we're putting those 2 out. Episode 0 and episode 1 are coming out March 9th, March 8th or 9th, the Wednesday, the second week of Wednesday. the second week of March. Uh, they're both coming out. The first one we're just going to be, kind of meet the cast, talk about, D&D 5 and our previous campaign and what we're doing and how we game and stuff. The next one we're going to talk about character creation because we're starting a brand new campaign in tandem with the show, and we're going to kind of talk about that and how we do our character creation for the new campaign. It's going to be exciting. I'm really excited about that. And in addition to that, Tales from Beyond the Grave is a show that we started 2 years ago. It was kind of took the place of our Halloween episode, in place of Express in Halloween. Well, we'd like to do that in addition to Express now. We'd kind of like to do 2 of those audio dramas a year. The first year we did was the ghost stories, where all the different media creators come in and told ghost stories, and I sort of produced them well. And the second time we did it, it really, wow, that was a fun project. Doing the Dunwich Horror, I wrote the script for it based off of the original Lovecraft story, and we produced the audio drama around it. We got all the media creators to come in and do voices for it, and it's just so much fun doing those. And I want to do more of those. It's a different kind of content than board game reviews or board game discussion or miniatures games, role-playing games, whatever. It's a different thing. But it's fun, and it's got that little bit of gamey stuff in there. You got the media creators in there, and Call of Cthulhu was the one we did, so it kind of fit the mold of this community. It was just fun to do, and I want to do more of those. I want to do one in the spring, and I want to do one in the fall. So that's some more stuff I want to do on top of the major episodes that we do. So I can't wait to make that better, and making it better is the next point I want to make. A lot of people say we have a pretty good sound quality now, but there are things that I hear that I hate, and I want to take the time to make this show sound the best it can sound. And by fixing up the studio a little more, making it better, making sure that I'm more knowledgeable of the post-production aspects to make everything sound perfect. That's what I want to spend some time on, making this show sound great. So those are some changes and some additions that we're going to make. But one thing I want to make very clear about the podcasts is that I don't want the podcast to change in any capacity. There's been some people that have emailed me and messaged me and said, hey, I got a couple of concerns about this Kickstarter thing and the fact that you're going full time with it. They're concerned that when you go full time, things start to change, and not change for the better. And I am totally aware of that fact because I've been doing this for a long time now as not a full-timer, and I see what these people are talking about. Sometimes the business kind of gets in the way of the creativity and the honesty and that kind of stuff, and I don't want that to ever happen, because I think we've built a pretty good amount of trust with our listeners. At least I feel that way, and I hope I'm right on that. And I never want to break that, because you know who my bosses are? The listeners, the people who back the Kickstarter, the people on Patreon. Those are our bosses. Those are the people we have to answer to, not publishers and designers and other media creators and stuff. Those people, we love those people. We love working with them, but you guys are our bosses, and we want what you want. We're going to give you what you want. And so we're not going to be dishonest. We're not going to be changing things around so that it is, slapped together to make as much money as possible and that kind of stuff. That's very important to us, that we retain the quality and we retain the atmosphere that we generate in our shows, the camaraderie and the friendships and making people feel like they're a part of the group. We want to cater to our community, and that's what we're going to do. So we're aware of some of the issues that might arise, and we're going to do everything in our power to avoid them. So I hope you believe me. We're going to be trying our best to make this the best it can be. Now, going on to the YouTube channel, that was one of the major reasons that we started talking about this Kickstarter, is because we didn't have time to continue it. That's something that I'm going to hit real hard. That's going to be a huge focus of mine going forward in the future after this campaign. I want to start doing regular content that comes out weekly, and not only just board game reviews. Board game reviews are cool and they're going to happen, but I want to start doing some more interesting entertainment and discussion topic conversational videos. And I want to make sure that we get some of the other guys on camera. Tony has been going bananas about figuring out how to best do live streaming. He's tasked with that because he took it on. He wants to do it. So we're definitely going to be doing that. And And here's my sort of my philosophy about the video stuff. Uh, I don't want to do too much, and I don't want to do too little. That is very important to me. Too much is bad. If there's just too much of it, it's flooding you with stuff. Like I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want that. I want ours to be, focusing on each project as they go and making them the best they can be, and giving you real content, entertainment, and real thoughtful commentary. I want you guys going away from our videos thinking about something and taking some information away that you can use, whether it's you found a new game that you really want to get, or you were even turned away from a game that you thought you might want, but based on what we talk about, we give you the information that you can use. That's what we want to do. And with this extra time, there's going to be lots of time for us to sort of prepare our thoughts and really write some thoughtful commentary out about all of this different stuff. So that's a huge thing that I want to make clear about this. That's what we're going to focus on with the YouTube channel. Going forward, another one. This is a brand new thing. This was our announcement number 3. Is we're going to be creating a new experience for Cabalists. We're going to be creating Agents of the Cabal, our alternate reality game. Now, when we started talking about this fundraiser and what we could do, we wanted to make it different. We wanted to be unique. We didn't want to do what everybody else was doing, because that's one of the things that I sort of pride our show on, is trying to be different as best we can. Over the years, we've tried to come up with new and interesting kinds of content, and this is brand new for the gaming community. It's been out there for years in other realms, but we're bringing it into our community now. An alternate reality game is basically a multimedia presentation over a long span of time that creates a narrative, and that narrative can be altered by the player's ideas and actions. So basically, what you're going to be dealing with here is Agents of the Cabal. The theme is basically you guys are members of the Cabal who are tasked with protecting the Secret Cabal against its enemies, its foes. And those things can be anything, and I don't want to spoil anything of what the story is going to be, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So you guys are going to be investigators, basically. Think of yourselves like the Mulder and Scullys of the Secret Cabal. So we're going to be giving you incidences and missions and things, and these incidents reports that you're going to be getting are going to be based on videos and audio and documents and photos, and you're going to consume all this media from your incident report, and you're going to try to find the clues and the leads are going to send you off to all different places around the internet. Because one of the cool things about an alternate reality game is that it utilizes things you use in your everyday life, like social media, like YouTube, like just your computer, your phone, text messaging, emails, stuff like that. So it's not like you have to go sit down at a table and play the game. You're just, while you're doing your everyday life, ooh, I found something. It just happened. And then you follow up that lead and you go through the mysteries, and you're going to be solving these mysteries. And the whole thing is going to last months and months and months throughout this narrative that's going to happen. And I'm really, really excited about this, because we're media producers and we're gamers. So this was a perfect fit for something to create for you guys. Because here's another thing. I don't want to, and this is kind of weird because it's kind of going into my next point, is we're going to have some promos in the Kickstarter, like everybody else does. But we're keeping our promo pool really small. We only wanted to work with publishers that we really love. Stonemaier Games, Stronghold Games, Red Raven Games, Portal Games, and Good Games Publishing. Those guys just do great stuff. And we wanted to have a small promo pool of really great stuff. And the reason that I wanted to keep it small is because I don't want to be a promo store. There's nothing wrong with being a promo store with your Kickstarter, but I just didn't want to do that because it's really difficult to manage that kind of stuff. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to work with all these different publishers. You've got like 25, 30 different publishers you're working with. You're emailing, you're figuring out, you're calling them up, you're managing schedules of when things are going to show up and how many you need and all this other crap. It's difficult with 5. I can imagine, 20, 30, 40 of them like that. So what that does is it takes time away from the reason that we're actually doing the Kickstarter, to do the media, to give you more content about the things that you want to have content about. So we wanted to keep that reward pool smaller. So it was easier for us, and it didn't chew up our money for shipping and all that other stuff. And That's why we created Agents of the Cabal, because we wanted to do something different that was in our wheelhouse, media creation. So I hope you guys are going to find that fun and something interesting to do, because we're going to be sending you some actual physical rewards as part of the Agents of the Cabal. Is going to be, you're going to get a membership card. It's going to be like a credit card, actually like a credit card that has your name and your serial number and your rank on it. Says Loyal Order of the Cabal on it. You know, I'll put a picture up here somewhere so you can see it. And not only that, as part of being an agent, you're going to have to be using this little guy here, the agent's cipher wheel. What you're going to do is you're going to get secret messages, whether it be on social media or the podcast or on the forums or whatever, or inside of documents, whatever. And you're going to have to decode those messages. So you either get a message or you'll get a password to get into the Agent HQ website so that you can find some information out in the website. And these little suckers are cool. They're laser cut wooden cipher wheels made specifically for us. And they're great. From Daedalus Productions, one of our sponsors, they're donating these. Awesome guys. Ben Hilliard, my buddy. But these are beautiful. I'll put a bigger picture up here somewhere so you can look at it. But man, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a really fun new reality we're creating for the Cabal. And I really hope you guys are interested in getting into that. So I guess the last thing I want to talk about, there's another reward that I'm just so freaking excited about. And that's kind of goes along with our last announcement from the podcast, was that our big Gen Con meetup is going to be at the Tow Yard. They're giving us the entire brewery, and everybody's welcome to come. You know, it's much bigger than it's ever been. So we're not going to be packing it in like we did before. You know, it's not going to be sardines. We got a building to have our meetup in now. And it's going to be a block party. It's even going to spill out into the street. They're blocking off the streets. And they're naming a beer after us and bottling the beer with a special label. Fantastic. But the part that goes with the Kickstarter is one of the levels is going to be the beer enthusiast dinner. It's going to be limited to about 10, 15 people. But Stephen Bonacore of Stronghold Games, he's a certified beer judge, and he's going to host the dinner. We're going to go in there. We're going to take a tour of the brewery. We're going to sit down at the table. They're going to bring out glasses of every one of their finest beers. We're going to taste them. Bonacore's going to talk about them. It's going to be a ton of fun. And not only that, we're going to have some other media creators in attendance as well. If you want to meet, you know, Rodney Smith from Watch It Played, Matt Evans from Board Game Replay, Marty Connell from Rolling Dice and Taking Names, and Chaz Mahler from Power of Dice Paradise. So it's going to be Tony, Chris, and I, all those guys, and Bonacore having a fantastic party with some of you guys. It's going to be great. And then the meetup afterwards. It's going to be a ton of fun. I tell you, we'll have some other rewards in there too. We're going to probably throw in some of the badge ribbons and the stickers and that kind of stuff. And I heard some people talking about coins. They want the challenge coins again. That's something I'm still looking into. So I can't promise they're going to be in there because they're kind of expensive to make. They're like $2 a piece. If we get 2,000 of them or 1,000 of them, that's a chunk of money. So we're going to have to figure out if that is something that we can possibly do. So I'm not promising that one yet, but it might happen. So that's really the main points of the whole Kickstarter. So I hope that you guys, think this is a good idea. I hope you guys want to get in on it and get into the Agents of the Cabal. You want to get this new media coming on, because really, from a personal note, this will be, if it works, the best thing that's ever happened in my life, man, because I'm just so excited to do this. I'm bouncing off the walls. I can't wait for April 5th to get this thing started, and I'm crossing my fingers that this thing's going to work out, because this would be my dream come true, and you guys are the one that can make it happen. And I really hope that you think enough of us to help us make that happen. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So I hope you stuck with me till the end here, because it's a long-winded video. So cool. Take it easy, everybody.